JCOC conducted a consumer survey to gauge perception of diamond alternative to natural stones. I'm pleased to have Liz Chatelain here to address what the findings are telling us. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for inviting me on your show today.
Yeah, you're welcome. So now tell us, give us some insight. Just how has the public perception of mined diamond changed in the past couple of years?
You know, the perception itself hasn't really changed. I mean, people are still in love with diamonds. That hasn't changed. I think what has crept into this scenario, though, is that more consumers are thinking, how did these diamonds come into the marketplace? So they are definitely more aware of other issues that surround not just diamonds really, but all products. They're now starting to question everything that happens before products come right to them. But as far as loving diamonds, the vast majority, 90% plus, still love diamonds. Women are rarely ever turned down a diamond gift. So diamonds themselves still have a very healthy perception overall in the market for what they really are.
Did the survey unveil specific issues that stood out? In other words, well, were mining issues more about, say, the environment, or were they about human rights, or both?
Well, the reality is that mining issues, the way things are mined, all the natural resources, have received a lot of negative publicity over the last few years. And all of this is really because of the environmental causes that have come up. Everything from oil to lumber, coal, diamonds, gold, gemstones, all of them have sort of come under the microscope a bit more. That is true. And we have to remember that negative headlines sell. So it's much easier to bring across negative issues that are happening, whether it's in mining or retailing or whatever, than it is to bring across positive messages and positive images. So the negative images of war-torn areas of Africa have certainly stirred the hearts and minds of consumers, not only in America, of course, but around the world. And one of the products that is coming across in a very negative light in those types of headlines is diamonds. And you know, even starting before the movie Blood Diamonds, but certainly growing since then, the average consumer is much more aware. We have recent studies where we're showing 71% of consumers are aware that there are some issues related to natural mined diamonds, and those issues do include human rights, all sorts of environmental issues, even issues. There was a TV documentary on not too long ago where it showed some diamond cutters in India and sort of casting a negative light that these poor people are being exploited, when in reality they have a job and they're wearing masks, and a lot of improvements have happened. But that's not what the headlines bring across to the average consumer. So people who don't know what a vast improvement that was see it as negative. So there are multiple issues that are coming up, sustainability and what's happening with the indigenous people around mining, areas, whether it's diamonds or other things. So yes, all that news is out there, and the consumer is, if they want to be, exposed to it quite frequently these days. But remember, it's really a big picture. It's not just about diamonds.
Now, the survey showed a remarkable increase, really, in those choosing alternative diamond when JCOC introduced those 5 price options for consumers to weigh. Did the trend surprise you at all? And did you think that a difficult economy may have played a factor in their choice?
Well, that's a very good question. I think the reality is that there is a perception, or I should say a percentage of consumers who will only buy real diamonds, mined diamonds. Those are, they don't even cut across generational issues, by the way, or levels. There's just that type of consumer that wants real, no matter what. Thank goodness. And that's a very large percentage. But the growing percentage, so obviously growing out of consumers who would never have bought real diamonds for various reasons, including price, is a percentage of consumers who say, you know what, I really like the look of diamonds and I like how I feel when I wear diamonds, and if I could get that look and feel and not have to pay the price. And these alternative diamonds are set in real metal. So the industry is promoting it as an alternative to natural diamonds, then yes, I'm going to buy that. And I'm going to save a lot of money in some cases along the way. Now, there are some diamond alternatives and or some diamonds that are man-made, where the price range is very similar to mined diamonds. So the consumer is not doing it for the price issue. They're doing it because they still love the product. They like the reality that those created diamonds don't come from the ground. They like that. So we're really building on a new consumer model out there that will buy that type of product only. Now, that part of the market hasn't really been able to promote that scenario very much, mainly due to funding and lack of distribution at this point. But to get back to your question, I think that there are consumers who are very stirred by the price issue. I think the economy really did play a factor in it. When you can get two products that look almost identical, no one's really going to know but you, then why not, buy an alternative and save a couple of $1,000s in some cases.
It seemed that the consumer certainly favored specific jewelry pieces with those diamond alternatives. Now, earrings in particular, any opportunities you see that the manufacturers and retailers should be weighing from your findings?
Well, I wasn't surprised that earrings ranked so well because as a woman, an earring is a very easy product to buy as an alternative because people don't get really that close to your ear, so you sort of have the feeling that they're not going to notice it's not natural or not real. The other thing is that it's not a ring where rings might take a little bit more abuse. Although I will tell you that in this study, engagement rings as alternatives ranked really high, which you wouldn't normally think us in the industry. But remember, this study is about what the consumer thinks. It's not what the industry thinks. And the consumer loved earrings. It's a high category anyway, so I wasn't really surprised about that. I would definitely recommend that retailers especially find some diamond alternative product that they're comfortable with presenting to their clients and stock it. I think it's very important that they have those alternative products, not only for price, although that's going to be very important over the next few years, certainly, but also for all those other issues that we just addressed, to capture that consumer who really doesn't want to get involved with the negative emotions that might come with how some, a very, very small percentage obviously, of diamonds come into the market if they happen to be blood diamonds. So I think retailers would be wise to have alternatives and properly educate their staff on how to present them and sell them.
Good insight to the consumer market, Liz. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Well, thank you, Jeff, and again, Happy New Year to you and to everyone listening.
Thanks, Liz. MVI Marketing has the full report on their website. All right, time now to check on how precious metals prices fared this week. For all the latest industry news, be sure to visit diamonds.net.